transition, rolls to the basket, post. He just scored in every way that you can, and so it was definitely a different feel than last game.
Yeah, just mentioned, including the Phoenix game, but just how about with the bench, and like how much do you want to sort of trust them in some essence, and then also have LeBron and AD back in? How do you work that out throughout a game?
Yeah, well, it's not just the bench. Our second unit has LeBron or AD in it, and those guys got to do that whole unit. Just whatever unit is in there to close the third and to start the fourth. Tonight it was more to start the fourth. We just got to do better. We got to execute more. We got to guard better. Got to knock down shots. We got to not be hesitant. I thought we were hesitant and not aggressive, which is a little different than last game. But the other team's going to keep playing. They're going to keep fighting. They're going to throw new guys in there, fresh guys, and we got to understand that that's how teams are going to be when they're down 20, and got to continue to get better.
Frank, you mentioned a lot of AD's points coming in flow today, but first minute and a half of the game, 3 quick touches, 3 quick baskets for him. Another hot first quarter. That seems like that's been consistent. How big is that for the remainder of the game to really get him those double-digit scoring quarters? Yeah, I mean,
when he gets an easy bucket or two early in the game, I think that sets a tone for the rest of the night. And we had a simple play to get him going early, and it worked, and we ran it 2 or 3 times, to have success with it. So, I think that sets a tone.
Hey, Coach, over here. We haven't seen a lot of the lineup. You finished, I think, maybe it was the second half with you had KCP, Green, Avery, and then LeBron and AD. Can you share what you thought of that lineup and what was the impetus of that?
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that you have to contain the basketball and try to take away the 3. So, they play small, and, we wanted to sort of counter that, especially when we had a lead. Obviously, when we're fully healthy, there's a lot of different ways we can go. We have one of our centers in there. We can have Kuz in there at the 4. We can have 3 of our wings the way we did, where Danny just sort of plays offensively at the 4. But to be small and to counter their hard driving kick game, their transition game, those guys were great to help secure the victory.
Frank, as you've been playing LeBron, somewhat the second unit, obviously he's still going to have the ball a lot in his hands. So how does that affect Rajon Rondo's kind of rotation, and where do you think Rondo's been these last couple of weeks for you guys?
We want to be able to run some lineups out there where LeBron's not having to do everything in terms of bringing the ball up and initiate every play. So, Rondo is that guy. Sometimes it's Alex. Alex was out, so Doe's got to come in and run those looks, and I think he's doing a really good job with it. We haven't had success the last 2 games with those units, but I think Rondo's doing a good job.
Couple of nights. Other teams always seem to give you their best effort. They're going to keep coming back. What's important about kind of retaining or just getting that momentum back to close these games out?
We got to do a better job of keeping locked in and staying focused. Human nature trying to fight it, of not getting lax. Human nature, they're going to continue to fight. So we got to do a better job instead of staying focused for the full 48, that third quarter, end of the third quarter and early fourth, of keeping that same intensity and respecting every team. They were a great ball club. They come in, they scored a high clip. So did Phoenix. And, we got to be on our toes at all times on the defensive end of the floor.
With that said, what has allowed you to open up such big leads? What's been working early?
I just like our energy and our focus from the start. We come in with a little bit of anger, a little bit of chip on our shoulder, protecting home court. We just got to sustain that and try to keep it 48 minutes. It's tough. We know we're about halfway through the season, but we want to get there by, April, May, and June.
You got going early in this one from 3, Danny. A lot of your points came in that first quarter. You get your 6th free with about 2 minutes left. What kind of rhythm were you finding, and how were you getting your shots?
My teammates did a great job of finding me, man. Brian gets to the paint, spraying out, and just hit me in the corner. I got easy, wide open look, rhythm shots in the corner. And once you see 1 or 2 go in, it's easy to, let the next ones go confidently. And they continued to find me second half. They didn't do as much. They didn't help off the corners as much. But we still got some good looks and got some good rhythm rotations. Everybody was in a good flow.
All right, last thing for you. You guys still haven't lost to a team that's sub 500 this season. Got a couple more coming in here. What's been the important thing about taking care of business?
Against every team. Doesn't matter if they're sub 500 or above. We want to win. Obviously, those games, but even the bigger challenges, we know we got to be locked in. But regardless of the record, we know each team can beat any team on any given night in this league. And, we got to respect everybody that comes on the floor.
Appreciate it, Danny.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Danny Green, 6 triples tonight, helping the Lakers to a 123-113 victory at Staples Center.
Thank you, Mike. And Danny Green was huge. We'll talk about him later in the show. We have to talk about Anthony Davis's dominance over his former team. Now, they've only played twice, but look at these numbers. He is 30 of 51 from the field. 23 of 25 from the free throw line. He was 13 for 13 tonight. He's averaging 11 rebounds and 3 steals. He had 46 fish. I don't know what else to say about this young man. He's amazing to watch on a nightly basis, but the efficiency that he gets these numbers is remarkable. Fish, 21 shots.
How to say this in a respectful way.
Yeah, he hit threes as well, by the way.
Yeah, well, I mean, Anthony Davis practiced against a lot of these guys in New Orleans, and it is clear there was nobody remotely close enough to being able to guard this guy in practice on a daily basis. So when he plays in the game against the Pelicans, it's like practice. He knows that he can get to his spots, get what he wants to get accomplished, but he also does it, to your point, the efficiency. He's not doing it in the way of, I'm trying to show out because I'm playing against New Orleans. He's doing it still within the team fabric, and that's what's impressive about the way he plays the game.
I agree. I mean, he's perfected his craft. I mean, the guy can do just about anything on the basketball court. And when you're playing against former teammates, you kind of, you know, they know they can't guard you. Like Fish said, he knows they can't guard him. But, you know, when he gets going from inside and outside, you know, it's going to be a long night for whoever's trying to defend him when he's hitting the three and dunking and hitting the mid-range. It's going to be a long night.
And, you know, I think for Anthony Davis, he says the right things. Listen, we already played him that first time, so it's just now playing the Pelicans. But you know, every time you face your former team, he wants to have a little something for them. And just the way he puts his stamp on the game. The 12 points in the first quarter separate the Lakers and kind of announces this is AD's night. And then that third quarter, Fish, you know, you're coming out of that break, and he goes for 19 in that quarter.
Yeah, I think that's really the mark of a mature professional player, right? The first half, in some ways similar to the Suns game, Lakers get out to a nice cushion. Pelicans kind of fighting back a little bit. But instead of doing the same thing in the second half against Phoenix that happened, AD comes out and says, no, in the third quarter, and Allie Clifton mentioned this in the conference room, to come out and say we have to be better finishing games. When we've been successful within the game, we have to be better. And he set the example of that coming out in the third quarter, putting up 19 points.
And then he comes out and does it.
Yes.
So he walks the walk.
Yes, indeed.
And I appreciate that. James, before we get to the highlight, I want to throw out a number to you. 19-0 for sub-500 teams. In this day and age in the NBA, it's hard to win like that in the NBA. When you're playing, everyone has those nights where you're tripped up, and I know it's going to happen to this team at some point, but 19-0, that's taking care of business.
You know, taking care of the games you're supposed to take care of, and then, you know, being focused on the other games, the better teams. That's, you know, that's why they have that nice cushion when they lost those games, the 4 in a row.
Still in first place.
They still had an opportunity to stay where they were, and so that's what you have to do. Because you're going to lose some games in the NBA. Sometimes you're going to lose 2 or 3 in a row. Hopefully you don't have injuries, but to take care of business, we said this, you know, last year or several years ago. A couple years ago, we said, if they just won those 15 games, if they should have won, they might be in the playoffs. Yeah. But this year, for sure, they're handling their business.
All right, let's get you to the highlights. We'll take you out to Staples Center. Lakers at home taking on the Pelicans. A lot of familiar faces. In the opposing lineup, there's Lonzo Ball hugging it out with LeBron James. LeBron off the stagger screen, leaves it for AD. Nice pass.